Happy Mother's Day. I hope you're all well, staying well, fingers crossed. I put a picture up of some sauerkraut I made a couple of days ago, and someone asked me for the recipe, so I thought I'd just do a really quick tutorial on how you make sauerkraut. It's really simple, really quick to make. You're going to need white cabbage. I tend to take the easier route and shred it in my mixer, but you can always just hand shred it, use your knife. You'll need some salt, perhaps a little bit of bottled water, and a container for your sauerkraut. So we're going to start by obviously washing your hands. I have just done that, washing your hands, and then we're going to start to shred our cabbage. So that's the cabbage shredded. Before I shredded it, I did take off a couple of outer leaves, and you'll see why. We will need those towards the end of the process. So I'm going to get all my cabbage, a couple of bigger bits in there. I'm going to take them out and put it into a bowl. So I'm just going to pop these bits out of the way. Go in the compost and wash my hands again. We're going to need they say, it does vary from recipe to recipe, but a couple of tablespoons of salt per cabbage. That was quite a big cabbage, so I'm going to put a little bit extra in. And then this is where it gets interesting. You're going to, with your nice clean hands, start to mush, really technical word, mush the cabbage all together. So just working the salt into the cabbage. And this can take a few minutes. You just want to start to really work the cabbage down, and you'll see that it starts to get really liquidy. Juices start to come out the cabbage, salt's all getting mixed in. Put your favourite song on while you're doing this. Have a bit of a dance down in the kitchen. I think we're getting to the point now where it's really liquidy, broken down. You've got the salt all rubbed into the cabbage. This is the point where you need someone to help you pull your sleeve up. I don't think Neo can do that. So I'm going to say that's probably enough. And I'm going to go wash my hands. So once we've got our sauerkraut all mixed up, broken down, liquidy, I'm going to put it in our containers. Now I have a proper sauerkraut pot which has a lid with a valve. They're not expensive to get. And it's a little bit bigger than these. So because that's already in use, because I made them a few days ago, I'm just going to use these Kilner jars. So they are sterilised. I have had them in hot water, so they're nice and clean. And what I'm going to do is just start to pop the sauerkraut into them. Now you want to pack the sauerkraut down. You really push it down. I'm going to use my hands because we need the we need it to be anaerobic in here. We need all the oxygen out. So you press the sauerkraut down really well. Get the oxygen out. I'm going to put just a little bit more in there. And then you want the liquid to come up to above the level of your cabbage. Any cabbage that's left kind of in contact with the air is just going to go mouldy. You want it pressed down, all the oxygen out of there. And then what we do is a couple of the leaves from the outer cabbage, so save a couple of leaves before you start the process. You're just going to pop them in there and use them to press down. So just keep the sauerkraut down below the level of the water. And if, as you leave your sauerkraut to ferment, you see that there's the water level is going down, you can always top it up with a little bit of salt water. So you don't have to put the lid on completely. You can do, but if you put the lid on, then it's really important that you remember maybe every day to just release it, because the gases can build up in there and you don't want an exploding bomb. So you can either just leave it slightly open or you can close it, but then make sure you do remember to open it if you don't have a jar with a valve. And just pop this into the other one. So the same thing, we're just going to press it down. You can pop some kind of weight on top of that top cabbage leaf. I have in my proper sauerkraut pot, I use a pebble like off the beach, sort of a heavy stone, sterilised it really, really well, and I always just sit that on top of the cabbage leaf, and it's just going to help to keep the cabbage submerged. So again, we're pressing it down, all the oxygen out. And to get one of our leaves, use that to press down. And then you can leave this, so some people will say 4 days, some people will say 4 weeks. I would say an absolute minimum of 4 days. Tend to leave it a couple of weeks and really let it ferment nice and sour. You can pop a tea towel over the top if you leave them slightly open, just to make sure no nasties get in there, and just leave them to sit somewhere. Enjoy. See you soon.